time myself and tried to whip up a delicious spaghetti and sausage meatballs with whipped ricotta all in about 12 minutes. That's how much I'm giving myself. Just a fun fact for everybody here and everybody at home, I'm covered in makeup because I'm freaking out. I don't know why I set this limit, but we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. Okay, so let's get that timer up on the clock. We got it, and start. Okay, we're going. All right, so the first thing we need to do to get started on this delicious recipe is obviously get to work on the pasta. Now, I did cheat a little. I got my water boiling, and I got a pan preheated, so, you know, that doesn't count. So first thing I'm gonna do is add a good amount of salt into this water. Now, I'm using spaghetti today. If you really want this to go quickly, you could definitely do this with spaghettini. Spaghettini is great. It's a little thinner, so it cooks quicker. I'm going with spaghetti, and I want about 250 to 300 grams of spaghetti noodles here. And I'm gonna add that on into my boiling water. I like to do a bit of a twist and then a drop in. Guys, oh my gosh, get ready. This is gonna be a good day if that was impressive. All right, now give that a little bit of a stir just to get going. And to bring that back up to a boil, I'm gonna pop the lid back on there. Now that needs to cook for anywhere from about 8 to 10 minutes, so that's why you gotta be speedy quick getting that on the boil. Now I've got a pan here over about medium-high heat, and I'm gonna add in a little bit of olive oil. This is what I'm gonna start making my meatballs in. Yeah. Now, if you've made meatballs before, sometimes you gotta make like a panade situation, crack an egg in there, put all the flavoring, all this stuff. Know what I'm gonna do to save time? Use a sausage. Know why? Yes, someone else has done all the work of getting those flavors into that meat. So basically what I'm gonna do is grab a sausage, just a classic like link, and it's got that casing on the outside. So what I wanna do is grab a paring knife and just pop the tip of it in just to split that casing open and just break it open. Now, what I'm gonna do now is just kind of peel that away, and then using a spoon, I'm just gonna kind of like flick little sort of meatballs right into this pan. Now, this is an excellent audience, y'all. Y'all are doing it so good. Now I'm gonna crank the heat a little bit just so we get that sizzling going. But this is a way to make what I'm gonna call like meat chunks, because they're not perfect meatballs. If you do want perfect little meatballs, you can roll these up. That would be beautiful. But honestly, I'm about speed today, not about finesse. You do want them to be on the smaller side because you want them to cook up in about, I'd say 8 to 10 minutes. Wait, how long do we have on that clock? 2 minutes? Okay, we're good, we're good. If these take 8 to 10 minutes, we're gonna be serving up at that 12-minute mark. So just pop it in. If you really wanna go speedy as well, you can also just do like a meat sauce. Grind up that meat, do it like a classic bolognese or something. But again, sausage meat is such a great hack. Someone else has seasoned this. It's got salt, it's got spices. I'm using like a spicy Italian, but even a mild Italian would work perfectly. But again, just kind of flick them right on into that pan, just however you'd like. Again, meat hunks, not meatballs. That's what we're going for. All right, this smells amazing already. You smell that fennel in there. Absolutely beautiful. And by getting rid of that skin, we're getting a good amount of that fat in the pan as well. All right, I'm gonna do 2 sausage links, but you could do up to 4 if you're feeling it. Now I'm gonna go wash my hands and pop these on the back counter. And you want those sausages to sear for just about 5 minutes. You're looking for some good golden brown color. And just to cook them almost all the way through. While those do their thing though, I'm gonna get to work on a super quick and delicious sauce. So, meatballs are doing their thing. I need a little bit of onion for my sauce. I love that mixture of onion, garlic, things like that to give you a delicious base for your sauce. So my tip, you could mince an onion, you could dice an onion, but to be honest, they take a little bit of time to cook. So what I'm gonna do is grate an onion. Super easy way to make a really quick cooked down onion flavor. But I will say, this really punches up the onion flavor. Onion is kind of like garlic, so the more you kind of cut into it and agitate it, the spicier and more punchy it is. So this is one of those things, if you're a onion crier, please don a pair of goggles and you'll be good to go. Now, just use the large side of a box grater and just pop that in. Now, as you're grating the onion, I can tell you're probably gonna be like, there's gonna be so much grated onion, just like cheese. You know, you grate cheese and somehow you end up with more cheese. Somehow you end up with less onion. I don't know what happens. It's the magic of grating an onion, but just pop it over. Also, fun fact, grating things is my scariest job in the kitchen. So pay attention, Mary, go slow, we're going safe. Even though we got, okay, we're still doing good. We're on 4 minutes in, we got those meatballs on, we got that pasta cooking, that onion is beautifully grated, and then all you need to do, see, boom, there you go. Chopped up onion in no time flat. Now in to that onion, I'm also gonna add a little bit of garlic in. So I've got 2 cloves of garlic here, and I don't know where we're getting our garlic, but it's the Giant Farm, because this is huge garlic. Now, if you want, you could do 1 clove of this, but I'm going in for 2, because I'm feeling garlicky today. And again, I'm gonna just pass it over the side of my grater. Typically, I'll use a rasp, but I'm just gonna use the small side of my grater for this one. Those meatballs, honestly looking good. Starting to get a little golden brown. I'm feeling good about those. All right. Now, since I'm grating all of this nice and fine, that's gonna cook down and get sweet and delicious and caramelized way quicker than if I was gonna use it nice and big. Now, tap that down, beautiful. Garlic, we got it all. I'm gonna check on these little meatballs, give them a bit of a stir, just to agitate them. See, you've got a little golden brown on that side. Isn't that guy looking beautiful? Can you see him? Oh yeah. Give him a little bit of a stir around, just to keep getting nice and golden. Now, I am gonna break this guy up, so it might turn more into a bolognese, but you know, we're getting dinner on the table in 12 minutes. Who's gonna complain? It's gonna taste great. Now, as you've noticed, I haven't actually seasoned this meat. Anytime I'm cooking ground meat, I actually season a little bit later, because salt tends to pull moisture out of things, and I wanna keep that moisture in so they stay nice and delish. I'm gonna check on that pasta. I just got a note in my ear, we're about halfway done. Oh boy, here we go. The noodles are looking beautiful. They're already nice and soft. Again, if you wanted to do a different type of pasta, it might take a little longer, a little shorter. Just keep an eye on it. It's gonna do its thing. Again, cooking those up. I'm gonna add my onion and my garlic into that pan now. That's gonna be perfect. So I'm using a bench scraper. This is a fun little thing. If you buy one of these and you pretend you're gonna make pastry, you're probably not, but it's really good for picking up onions. So I'm just gonna add those right on into my pan. That's gonna bring a little bit of moisture and deliciousness. And this is where I'm gonna start adding in my salt. So, good little pinch of salt just to start cooking down those veg. Maybe a little bit of pepper in there as well. Already, does this not smell delicious? This is like my type of spa. The steam facial of onions. I'm just saying. I'm a weird guy. All right, give that a mix together just to come together. You'll see the onion is already starting to cook down. Again, you want that good sear on those little meatballs. So flip them over, just make sure they're getting nice and cooked. My pasta's going crazy, so I'm gonna move that lid. How much time do we got on that clock, everybody? We've got set 5, so, we're making you do math today, aren't we? We're making you count backwards. All right, so I'm gonna turn that up. Let that keep doing its thing. Now, while that onion cooks down for just about 2 minutes, I'm gonna talk a little bit about tomatoes. Now, if you had a glut of fresh tomatoes, you could add those in, but they take a little bit to cook down. And I like that nice, delicious cooked sauce flavor. So I'm gonna use tomato paste. 1 can of, sorry, I got pepper in my throat. Don't worry, it's such a quick recipe, you got time to have pepper in your throat. I have a can of tomato paste here, and tomato paste is great because someone has already cooked down those tomatoes so much that they're nice and juicy and delicious. Really rich and flavorful, so it's gonna add a ton of tomato flavor right into this pan. So I'm just gonna add that whole can of tomato paste right on in. Now, I hate it when a recipe calls for a half a can of tomato paste, because what are you gonna do with the rest of this? So just put the whole can in, it's just gonna make it more tomatoey. If you did have any leftover tomato paste, I like to put it in a zip top bag, store it in the freezer, nice and flat. You can just spoon out anything you need to richen up your sauces. All right, looking good. Now give that a little bit of a mix in. That tomato paste is gonna almost stick to the bottom of that pan. That's gonna give you a really nice flavor, again, increasing that nice kind of caramelized deliciousness. Those meatballs are looking good. They're looking nice and golden brown and a little cooked through. And as you can see on this pan, we've got that golden brown stuff sticking right here. Did I get pepper in someone else's throat as well? Y'all, we went with the spicy Italian sausage. You can do mild if you're feeling it. But all of this cooked down bit on the bottom of the pan, that is pure flavor. You don't want to let that go to waste. So what I'm going to do is get a little bit of white wine. This is just like a white wine. These are my people today. What a delight. If you want, you could also add in a splash of water if you don't want to do wine, but we're gonna go in with a bit of wine. That's gonna help kind of lift, y'all. We are having a party later. I'm feeling good. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do this for you. There, a little bit more. All right, so how much more? Okay, we got 3 minutes. it's just under 3 minutes. I'm feeling dandy. It might not seem like it, but I'm feeling good. So give that a mix together. That wine lifts off all that deliciousness. And now into there, I'm gonna add in a can of crushed tomatoes. I love crushed tomatoes. Perfect for making into a soup, really, really delicious. It also adds that brighter tomato flavor. So add that right on in. Then for a little bit of seasoning, just about a teaspoon of dry Italian seasoning. If you add fresh, feel free, but that's gonna give you really nice flavor. And then, as we've already discussed, I like a little bit of heat. So I'm going in with some chili flakes, just about half a teaspoon, just a little bit in there. Feel free to pull back if it's, you know, not your thing. Give that a nice stir up. And then I'm just gonna pop the lid on and let that come up to a simmer. Those meatballs are gonna cook through beautifully. They're already almost there. How do I turn this up even more? Oh, it's because we're on a single burner. Guys, first step, make sure you use the right burner. I was like, why are these taking so long? Fun fact, if you're not talking and you use the right burner, you're gonna be good to go. All right, now I am going to make a whipped ricotta because we've got about under 2 minutes left. Okay, Mary, hurry up, stop talking. So for the whipped ricotta, all you need is some ricotta cheese. You get it in like the hummus section of your grocery store, you know what I'm talking about? So I want about a cup of that and I'm gonna add it into my food processor. You can also do this by hand with a whisk, but a food processor makes quick work of things. Now into there, I'm also adding in half a cup of grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. Go for the real stuff here. We're feeling it. This is from my good friend Chris Corrado, who's holding this camera right now. So we're feeling good. Now pop that lid on, and you want to process that up until it is nice and like fluffy looking. Just kind of whip it until it looks whippy, essentially. It kind of changes the sound. Looking beautiful. Season that up with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. How much time do I have left, everybody? Okay, we're good. We've got it. Final stretch. Okay, beautiful. This is gonna be a total dream. Let's give it a taste. That whipped ricotta. I was gonna say, we gotta hit someone in the audience who really wants a taste test. Let me tell you, if I leave any, there you go. All right, let's take a look at this beautiful sauce coming together. Nice and blippy, look at that beaut. That looks absolutely amazing. My pasta, I got about 30 seconds, 20 seconds. My pasta's looking perfect. We're just gonna drag it on over right into that pan. I got 15 seconds, oh my gosh. Okay, this is, no, 9. Ah, okay. And don't talk so much. And you can get dinner on the table in literally 12 minutes flat. Little bit more sauce for onto here. The plating, could I do it prettier? Yes, but honestly, she doesn't look too bad. So I'm gonna make a summery, delicious corn and burrata pasta. I know. We're very trendy, we're very cute. I'm very excited about it. I love a burrata. But not only is this dish super delicious, it's also really, really quick to make.
Is it, Mary?
It is, and I'm doing the thing.
Find out.
I'm doing the thing to myself where I woke up this morning, I said, Mary Berg, why'd you do this? We're gonna time it. We're gonna time it and see if I can do it in less than, I'm gonna give myself 12 minutes, okay? Okay, all right. Are y'all ready to count me in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and in 3, 2, 1, go! We need to cook our pasta. Pasta is the thing that's gonna take the longest in this recipe, so let's get to work on it. So I have cheated lightly, I have boiling water. That's okay, whatever, just, you can write me a letter about it, it's fine. So I'm gonna add in a good amount of salt. Now this is a lot of water, so I'm going in with a good amount of salt.
Yes.
Don't be mad at me.
No.
Alex, you're not mad at me.
No, I love it.
Yes. So you want to season that water up well, because not only is it going to season the pasta, it's also going to season the sauce later. Speaking of pasta, we're going in with spaghetti. I got 350 grams here. Just add that right on into the pot. I like to do that fancy little twist.
Love it, yeah.
It's very exciting.
She's on fire already.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I was like, oh, no, I'm not. 40 seconds just to get noodles in a pot? Terrible. All right, so if you wanted this to go even quicker, you could do it with spaghettini, angel hair. That would be breezy. This should take about, I'd say, 8 to 10 minutes. I am gonna add the lid on just to speed that up. Now, I've got a pan here over about medium heat, and I've got the noodles going. Now I'm gonna work on the topping. Sounds a little backwards, but it's gonna be good. So into that pan, I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon of butter, and I love a little bit of a crunch on my pasta. How do you guys feel about a crunch?
I love a little crunch.
Yeah. Okay, we got a little hot pan. We are ready to go. So I'm gonna go into that pan. You know what? I'm also adding in some oil because our pan's a little spicy. That's gonna be beautiful. All right, now I wanna flavor this butter up, so I'm going in with some sage. I have got about 2 tablespoons of chopped up sage here, and as soon as that sage hits the butter, it starts to fry up. Starts to get beautiful. Crispy, beautiful. Now I wanna go in with some panko. Panko is perfect for crisp. Going in with about half a cup of panko here, so just add that right on in. Season that up with some salt, little bit of crushed red pepper flakes if you're feeling fancy.
Mary, do you always toast the panko ahead of time?
Andrea, you're getting ahead of me, and I love it so much.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fantastic. So I got a bone to pick with panko, and that is that it is, honestly, it's just crunch. It doesn't give you a lot of flavor. So I do love toasting it up to give it that golden brown color and that golden brown flavor.
Okay,
yeah. So I used to have like a thing. I actually think I wrote in one of my books that I hate panko, and I'm retracting it right now. Here we are. Honestly, it's because it's just a crunch, no flavor. This, though, is gonna have flavor. We've got that butter in there, that sage. It's gonna be beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
so I'm gonna let that toast. Do you smell it?
Yeah,
It's autumn.
Yes.
A little autumn.
This is the thing. I wanted to do something for shoulder season. We're moving into autumn. So as opposed to using basil or chives or something like that, I wanted to use that sage for that warm kind of toastiness. Okay, so that's doing its thing, toasting up, looking beautiful. Now I'm gonna get to work prepping the veg for the sauce. Now I promised you corn, but we're gonna start with some shallot. So I need about half of a shallot here. And I'm just gonna give that a little trim just to get that little bit off. And I just wanna finely mince that up. Now, when we're talking chopping, you don't have to be all that precise because this is all gonna go into a food processor. But since I want this to cook quickly, I am gonna dice it as finely as I can in the time I have. Speaking of, where are we at for time, guys?
3 minutes.
Okay.
Nine to go. Nine minutes to go.
9 to go. Okay, cool. I can do
Make
this.
us mad.
All right. Is Owen the math guy here? I love it. All right, so I've got that shallot diced up. Gonna check on my panko. It's looking golden brown. We are done. You got that color, that beautiful flavor is gonna be delish. So I'm gonna transfer that on into my pan. Does it smell not delicious in here? This is the thing. Panko, when it is not toasted, it's fine. But what's better than bread? Toast. Just give it a toast, and it'll be perfect. Again, with that butter in there. Okay. Gonna pop that pan back on the heat, and I'm gonna go in with 2 more tablespoons of butter. That's gonna work.
not?
Right?
It's better with corn than butter.
Honestly,
Like
corn and
nothing,
butter.
right?
That's like the dream. Honestly, if you just put butter and corn in a pan and gave it to me, I'd eat that.
Yeah.
That's all I need. But I'm gonna add that shallot right on in to start cooking down. And then I'm gonna work on my corn. So this recipe, if you wanna do a full recipe, I would do 4 ears of corn. I'm just gonna do 2 today, because I'm cheating a little bit. We're gonna get it done
That's
quicker.
okay.
All right, now typically, Andrea, I know you feel this way.
Yes, I
There's
do.
so many hacks for cutting corn.
Yeah.
You do this, you do it on the bunt pan.
Leave the bunt pan for the baking.
For the bacon.
Yeah.
No. We don't need it. Know what the hack is? Get that corn cob. Just put it like this.
Yes, Mary.
Don't do it up and down. It makes a mess.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna take that corn right off the sides. And you get, I know. I am actually mortified at how long it took me to figure this out.
Life. What is it if you're not learning? Mary?
Exactly. I love learning. That's why I love cooking in the kitchen. You learn every single day. So I've got that corn off that first cob. That butter's melting up. Get it off the second. Now, if you've ever cut corn off of a cob before, you know that if you did it upright, you'd end up with corn all over your kitchen. And no, it doesn't take 12 minutes cleaning up individual kernels of corn.
That's right.
Yeah, not what I want to do, especially when Aaron's not here, who's usually the corn cleaner. He's good to go. All right, that corn is also going to go right on into that pan. That shallot's starting to cook down. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, on in.
Nice.
We've got that butter in there. Butter and corn, as Andrea said. What a delight.
Nothing better.
What's up?
Do you keep your corn bone?
I do. This is a corn bone. Don't get rid of it. Know what this is great for? Corn stock.
Yeah.
Which honestly sounds like a music festival I'd go to.
Corn stock.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. All right, give that a little bit of a stir. I'm gonna season that up. Now, Alex, if you are using the corn bone, as we're gonna call it, how would you make a corn stock?
So I would just essentially put that in water, a little bit of garlic, your Parmesan cheese rind.
Yes.
Okay, and then just simmer
That's the
that, and
secret
then you can,
ingredient.
and then that broth can be used for like corn risotto, pasta. anything like that.
Absolutely beautiful. I love that. Now, speaking of flavors that I love, we're going in with a little bit of garlic. I'm actually gonna thinly slice this garlic because I don't want it to be too punchy. I want it to be nice and soft. And garlic is funny. The bigger you cut it or leave it, the sweeter it cooks out. Yeah. The more you like mince it, gets a little bit more punchy and kind of spicy garlic. This is perfect. How are we doing for time?
You've got like
lots.
Halfway. Okay, cool. Okay, oh boy, we gotta go. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at our pasta. Starting to cook up. We're looking okay. All right. Now, I want this corn just to cook down, just until it starts to pick up a little color. Andrea, I know we've had discussions about
can we
this.
stop cooking our corn for 12 minutes or like 20 minutes?
Yes.
Like literally 3 to 5 minutes is the sweet spot, you know? Yeah.
That's the thing. When you are cooking, even a whole cob of corn in water or steaming it, you're just cooking the kernels. You're not trying to cook the corn bone.
No.
So just let it do its thing. It takes way less time than you think, and it's
sweet and crispy and all the things that summer is.
absolutely beautiful. Okay, while that corn is cooking down, I'm gonna grate up some cheese. I'm using Parmigiano Reggiano, because the king of cheese.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm very excited about it. I need about half a cup, but Alex, I feel like you, okay.
Listen, Parmigiano Reggiano is like the king.
Yes.
Do not alert the Italian authorities.
No.
But I feel like pecorino could be my favorite.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because it's got that sheep
Don't tell
funkiness.
anyone.
Yes.
I think you just told everybody.
I know. I'm also gonna out myself. I'm also more of a fan of pecorino. I love that sheepy little
Salty.
funky saltiness.
Yeah.
It's super, super good, but you could use either for this. Really, really tasty. How are we doing for time? 7. Guys.
You got
You
like
got, you're good.
like 5
Mary,
minutes.
you are good.
I could have a nap right now.
Dance in the kitchen.
Yes, I love this. Okay, what do you guys want to talk about? I got so much time.
I know.
Know what you could do in this delicious dish? If you wanted, you could throw in some summer tomatoes if you still have those hanging around. A little bit of white wine wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
All right.
Maybe a little more butter, which I'm probably gonna add just for fun, because, you know, why not? Corn and butter, we got it. All right, this is looking beautiful. We've got that shallot. It's a little bit golden brown. It's starting to cook down. The corn is sweet and beautiful. So I'm gonna take this and I actually wanna puree it. If you didn't wanna do that, add a little bit more butter, toss it in those noodles. It would be delish, but I'm going in to a food processor because I want a nice creaminess. Because for me, as the fall starts hitting, I want like creamy.
Stick to your ribs.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Your
exactly
corn
what I'm
ribs.
looking for.
Your corn ribs.
All right, okay, perfect.
You're even using like a small appliance here in 12 minutes.
I
I'm
know.
very impressed.
The cleanup might take longer than 12.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody else is doing that.
All right, so I'm gonna go in with that cheese as well. I've got about half a cup or a hefty half cup of that Parmigiano Reggiano. And then I'm just gonna pop the lid on and I'm gonna give that a pulse to combine. I want this to get nice and creamy. Now, as this goes, you're gonna see it's getting a little thick, almost like a creamed corn. I do wanna thin that out with a little bit of that secret ingredient, which is pasta cooking liquid. There's so much starch and deliciousness in here. It's absolutely perfect. That just brings sauces and everything together. So let's add that on in for a creamy dreaminess.
I mean, honestly, just give me a spoon right now. and it's like
This is the best side dish ever what
Yeah.
you're making right now.
Seriously, I'm
Totally.
essentially making creamed corn.
cheesy
Or
corn.
soup, yeah.
Corn soup. Cheesy corn. We can call it whatever we want.
6 recipes in 12 minutes.
Exactly. All right. That is looking beautiful. It's creamy. It's dreamy. Let's take a gander at it. Let's see what's going on in here.
Mary, you
Smells
have
really tasty too.
also 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes. Okay, I gotta go quick. Okay.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. Who wants a little taste? You get it.
I'll take it.
Okay, I was like, Andrea's reaching for
Yeah.
it. Tell me if that's not delish. I know. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So good.
We are gonna go back into the pan with this corn, this beautiful corn situation. With that cheese in there, it's totally delicious.
Come on.
And then
on.
the only trick of this recipe, the bane of my existence right now, is thermodynamics. We gotta see if this pasta is cooked through. Okay. Fingers crossed,
today.
everybody.
Yeah,
Let's
it
see
is
what's
today.
going on.
Oh, it looks good, Mary.
Okay,
look.
let's see. Let's see. Do the old testaroo.
Pretty good.
Needs 30 seconds.
You can
So
do it.
close.
You have 2 minutes.
we got
so
2
you
minutes.
Got 30 seconds.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little cleanup. We got time. We got time.
Do a little cleanup. You can do this with short pasta too, I guess, if you want
You
to, right?
100% a penne. The only pasta that I say I don't like to cook is a bow tie pasta
Yes.
because I tried making it for my husband one time and it was terrible.
The
So,
middle is hard to cook.
It's
eh? The
really hard
outside.
to cook. 100%. Okay, this is looking beautiful. We're simmering down with that beautiful corn sauce. This, again, like you guys said, thin it out a little more. Put a little buttermilk or cream in there for a soup.
Why
That would be amazing.
Crusty bread.
Crusty bread. Owen. Okay, who had their money on Shannon being the chef today. That was amazing.
I'm just trying to fit it. I'm just trying to fit it.
You're nailing it, my man. All right, now just toss that pasta in that beautiful sauce. A little bit more of that pasta cooking liquid. How much money? Oh, we got a minute. 60 seconds. All right, give that a toss. Again, corn is nice and starchy, so this is gonna thicken up beautifully and look totally, totally
Look at
delish.
that.
You've got that creaminess, that wonderfulness. Let's bring this over and get it plated.
45 seconds.
Okay, we got this. Honestly, I'm laughing.
Ooh, that looks amazing.
Now, we could even maybe do a little chefy twist if we
Yes.
want. Ignore this one noodle. That is looking absolutely out of control.
Presentation.
Usually when I do these timed ones, they are a bit of a sloppy mess, but today, we're okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is top this off with a little burrata, because we got the time, don't we? I have got a ball of beautiful burrata right here. Just place it on top and rip it open for that beautiful creaminess.
10 seconds, Mary.
10 seconds. We need the crunch. Little bit of crunch right over the top. Look at that. Absolutely. Here we go. 12 minute dinner. No time flat. Okay, real quick, everybody. We got to give this a taste. Everybody.
Snuck that burrata in at the end.
I know.
Yes. Ooh.
We're fancy here at the good stuff.
Come on.
Okay, let's give it a go. I'm going for this loose nude. I'm in noodle. Okay.
This might be a bit messy.
Oh, come on.
Not too shabby. I've got the perfect spring pasta for you. This is my bacon and pea gnocchi. It's gonna be tasty. My kind of like rationale when it came to writing this recipe, the team was like, ooh, let's do like a spring pasta. And in my mind, I'm like, yes, we want bright, we want tasty, we want green, but still some spring days are a little chilly. So we also want like potatoes and hearty and delicious. So this is the perfect mix of those two things. And if I'm gonna be making a good hearty pasta, the first thing I like to start with is usually a little bit of bacon to give it some flavor. So I've got about 4 to 6 slices of bacon here that I've just diced up. I've chopped it up before. You could also cook the bacon whole and then dice it later. Honestly, whatever you'd like. And whenever I'm cooking bacon, I like to start it in a cold pan or in a cold oven if I'm doing it that way. So I've got this pan here. It's off the heat, totally cold. I'm gonna add my bacon right on into there. Just give it a little bit of a spread out. And then I wanna pop that bacon over medium heat. Now, by doing this, starting it in a cold pan and then bringing the heat up, what's gonna happen is all that fat is gonna like render and sizzle out, and then the bacon's gonna crisp up. You know when you're cooking bacon and you crisp it too hard and then it still is flabby but also burnt? That's not what we want. Basically what you've done there is locked the fat in. We want it to render out, gives you more of that bacon fat to cook with later. It's gonna be delicious. So while that bacon gets to cooking for about 5 to 7 minutes, I'm gonna cook up my gnocchi. So I've got a big pot of boiling water here and I'm gonna add in a good amount of salt. Gnocchi cooks really, really quickly, so you wanna season the water well, because that salt water isn't gonna get too far into that gnocchi, but you do wanna season it up so it gives good flavor. Now, I'm gonna add my gnocchi into that boiling water. Now, anytime you buy gnocchi at the grocery store, they come in a bag, obviously. They say this bag serves 4 people. I don't know what 4 people are eating this amount of gnocchi, so I'm gonna say go for 2 bags. You want about 500 grams of that gnocchi. I'm gonna add that on into my water. And then cook it for whatever the package says. So this one needs 5 to 7 minutes. We're gonna let it do its thing. Honestly, that's one of my favorite things. I do like making homemade gnocchi every once in a while. It's really, really tasty. It's fun to make, but it is a bit of an event. So buying the store-bought stuff, super easy. They're chewy, they're beautiful little potato dumplings, and it's gonna be a total dream. That bacon is starting to sizzle. At this point, we'd obviously wanna cook this all the way. So I'm just gonna do a fancy TV swap right here, because we've got some bacon already cooked right there. You're seeing all the secrets. All right. All right, now we've got that bacon crisped up. It's looking absolutely beautiful. So I just want to remove that from the pan. And do you see all of that beautiful bacon fat that's been left behind? That is basically free flavor. I paid for it, so now I've got extra kind of fat to cook in. You can honestly, did anybody have the like apple juice can that they put their bacon fat in? Remember that? Or the can, and you'd store it in the fridge? Listen, I'm just gonna cook with this right away because I don't wanna throw it out. But honestly, keep it aside, pop it in your fridge, and you can use it for cooking up chicken or anything like that later. But as we are wont to do in the spring, when it's maybe a little bit of a chilly day, got that beautiful bacon fat, why not add some butter to it? This is a good recipe, guys. I'm really pumped about it. We only need about a 1/4 cup of butter, so I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup right on into that pan. It's about half a stick. Listen, you know this is gonna be good. It's gonna be tasty. So I'm just gonna let that butter melt down, and then we're gonna go in with a vegetable, don't worry. So we're gonna use peas, just frozen peas. These peas were picked at the peak of their ripeness last spring, so they're still spring peas. They just might be last year's spring peas. But I'm gonna add about a cup of those right on into the pan. I'm going kind of for a hefty cup because I want a little bit more of that poppy green. It'll be absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna give that a mix together. And you just want that to cook down until that butter melts and those peas are nice and bright and green and tender. That should only take about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm gonna give it a bit of a season with some salt and pepper though, just to give a little bit more flavor. And we are feeling good. So while those peas do their thing, I'm gonna get to work on prepping the rest of the ingredients that are going into this sauce. This is a super quick to put together recipe, really, really tasty. And to be honest, if I was doing this at home, I would just grate and pop everything right into that pan when it was time, but I'm not just gonna stand here waiting for that to be done, so I'm gonna get a little ahead. So I've got 2 cloves of garlic here, a ginormous clove and a normal, and I'm just gonna rasp those up onto my cutting board. You could also mince them. You could use a garlic crusher if that's something you like to do. I had a lady one time ask me the question. She was like, no one uses the garlic press anymore. Is it bad? It's not bad. Some people just don't like it. To be honest, I can't be bothered to clean it. That's my main thing. So that's why I don't use a garlic press. But if you like a garlic press, feel free. That'll be perfect. I personally like a rasp because you just rasp it, tap it, and you got all that beautiful garlic right down on your board. Looking beautiful. Now, in addition to this garlic, I'm also gonna add in some lemon, because one of my favorite things about the springtime is that it's kind of the beginnings of farmers markets and fresh produce kind of butt up against the end of citrus season. So citrus is still in season. It's bright and delicious. So I need about the zest of half of a lemon. I'm just gonna go straight on into a bowl. And you just wanna get that yellow part. Try not to get any of the white. The white is bitter. It will cook off a little bit, so if you do get some, it's not gonna be the end of the world. But the yellow stuff is the max kind of bright, fresh, sunshiny flavor. Then I'm also gonna add in the juice of half of that lemon. If you're trying to avoid seeds, if you cut the cheek off the lemon kind of like this, usually you avoid those seeds in the middle, so that makes squeezing them way easier. So pop that on in. Thank you, someone in the audience said smart. This is nice. It's really nice cooking here because I can hear people. All right, now I'm gonna add that garlic right on into the mix as well. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna add this on into those beautiful peas. They're starting to cook up. That little bit of the frost from the freezer is cooked off. Like, come on. I put that in a bowl, everyone's gonna be happy. I'm gonna pop in that garlic, that lemon zest, and that lemon juice. And you just wanna cook that down just for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, just to cook off that raw garlic flavor. That's gonna cook up absolutely beautifully. The peas are gonna get even more bright and green, but you can also see, because that lemon juice is in there, the butter's kind of emulsifying together, so it's getting a little thicker, which is exactly what we're looking for. All right, while that comes together, those gnocchi are almost done. I'm just gonna chop up a little bit of some parsley. Now, in here, you could also do chives, that would be beautiful. You could do tarragon, that might be nice, but I always have parsley on hand, so anything green. If you wanted to as well, you could always throw in a little bit of fresh spinach, any sort of leafy green, just for a bit more flavor. But I'm gonna pop that parsley right on into the pan. There we go. Give that a bit of a stir. And then we are gonna go in with our gnocchi. So that's been cooking for about 5 minutes. And basically, my rule when I'm cooking any sort of dumpling is wait for it to float to the surface, but then add 1 minute. A lot of times people tell you once they're floating, they're good. I sometimes find they're a little undercooked. So once they float, good to go. Add a minute. Oops, I overcooked some of them. Guys, this is a good day. This is a good day. We're going in. All right. Pop that on into the beautiful bacon. We've got all of that flavor, those peas. It's gonna be beautiful. If you've overcooked your gnocchi like me, I'm not gonna lie, all that's gonna do is thicken your sauce. You got a bit of potato in your sauce. The wheels are falling off here on the good stuff, but it's still gonna be tasty. Add that bacon right on back in. And then you know what makes everything better, even if things start going wrong? A little bit of cheese. Little bit of delicious Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. Add a little bit of that pasta cooking liquid just to bring everything together. Give that a nice stir. And do you see the creaminess happening in here? That beautiful cheese is melting in. This is almost like a springy mac and cheese with that bacon. To me, this looks like a complete dream. Absolutely delish, super homey, super tasty. All you need to do, pop it down on your table, maybe pop a little bit more fresh herbs right on top for that extra green color. maybe a little extra lemon zest, and Bob is your uncle. Honestly, I'm pumped about this dish. You can make this tonight. It happens lickety-split, creamy, cheesy sauce. Okay, I'm gonna eat a hot potato gnocchi. We gotta take a break, but we'll be right back. Here in the kitchen, I'm gonna make the ultimate comfort dish with some of that delicious pumpkin. I'm making a pumpkin mac and cheese, and I'm very excited about it. I know, it's like mac and cheese season, in my opinion. Now, I'm gonna be making a stovetop mac and cheese, one that you just like mix in a pot and then pop into a bowl. But this one also works really, really well if you wanna bake it, make it a little bit more fancy, or if you wanna add like sausage, little chorizo, little Italian sausage in there. We're going veg-ish today. We will show you though. So the first thing we need to do, anytime you're making any pasta, obviously get to work on those noodles. So I've got a pot of boiling water here. And into there, I wanna season that really well. This is where everybody's all like, Mary, that's too much salt, but it's not. Don't worry, we're dumping most of this water out, but you wanna season it really well because you wanna make those noodles delicious. So honestly, most of that salt just goes down the drain, but it does season those noodles beautifully, and it also actually seasons the sauce, because we're gonna add a little bit of that right on into there. So for the noodles, I'm going with a short noodle. I'm using like a rotini or a fusilli. You could do shells, you could do classic macaroni, you could do really anything you're looking for. You want about 350 grams for this. So I'm just gonna add that right on into my pot. Give that a little bit of a stir just to start that going. And then I wanna cook those until basically they are the texture that I wanna eat. Maybe a hair under. If you were to bake this though, I'd cook it for about a minute less than you think you should, because they're actually gonna continue baking in the oven, but again, stovetop, so cook them till they taste good to you. Now, we wanna make a beautiful little cheese sauce. So I've got a pan here over about medium heat. So I'm gonna add in some butter. We need to start with 3 tablespoons of butter. Anytime you are making a cream sauce, basically what you're looking to do is make almost a roux. And roux are basically a mixture of fat and flour together, but we wanna start flavoring it. So I'm going in with those 3 tablespoons of butter, letting those melt down. And then I'm gonna add in 2 cloves of garlic. Now I've already minced that up. Minced garlic is beautiful because it tastes really, really punchy, and it goes so well when it sweetens up with that beautiful pumpkin. So I'm gonna go on into that pan. Let that toast for about 30 seconds, but into that butter and that beautiful garlic, I'm also gonna add in some sage. So I've got sage right over here, and I want just about a tablespoon of that. I love the flavor of sage and pumpkin together. If you're not feeling sage, you can swap this out easily with a little bit of rosemary. You can leave it out altogether, to be honest. Even if you wanted to do something a little brighter and fresher, you could do basil, but I would save it and add it at the very end because it does tend to turn brown if you heat it. So this is gonna go in though. Any sort of woody herb you wanna add in earlier. So that's gonna almost fry in that butter with that garlic. So already it smells arguably too delicious in here, always a good start. I'm gonna season that up with a little bit of salt, give that a whisk together, and already that is looking absolutely perfect. So now we're gonna turn this butter mixture into a roux. So for that, I need that flour. So I need 3 tablespoons of flour. Anytime you're making a roux, it's usually even parts fat and flour. So just scatter that right on over top. 1, 2, this is where I lose track because I'm talking. You know when you're baking and you gotta do a lot of measurements and then someone like your well-meaning husband or mom comes in and asks a question, you're like, you gotta stop. It happens to the best of us, believe me. All right, give that a whisk in, and you wanna let that flour toast away for about 30 seconds. Basically what you're doing here is you're cooking off that raw flour flavor, because if I were to add my liquid in immediately, it will never get rid of that kind of gluey taste. We don't want that. But basically until it turns a little bit golden, just like this, this is absolutely perfect. So now I'm gonna add in my liquid. Now for that, I wanna use milk. I'm going in with any sort of milk you want. If you're a skim milk person, go for it. Personally, I'm not, because that just tastes like weird water. I'm like a whole milk gal, but like 2% is delicious and perfect. So I'm actually going in with cold milk. You can do that easily with any sort of cream sauce. It is likely to clump up though. If you're a little worried about those lumps, feel free to use warm milk. Just put it in the microwave, let it go, and then you won't get as many lumps. But to be honest, lumps happen. It's life. It's not that big of a deal. They cook out and it's gonna be totally beautiful. So I'm gonna add that milk right on in, give that a good whisk. And again, we've got lumps, but trust me, they will cook out, don't worry. And this already smells so creamy and delicious, right? That sage, get out of town. What a delight. All right, now I'm gonna let that come up to a simmer, and you want that to cook down for about 2 to 3 minutes, just until it starts to thicken. While that does that, we're gonna talk pumpkin, obviously, and cheese. Now, since this is a mac and cheese, I wanted to use cheddar, because that's just a classic, but you can really use any sort of cheese you want. I've got about 1.5 cups of cheese here. So I've got a cup of regular old cheddar, and then I've also got 1/2 cup of smoked Gouda. I love a smoked cheese this time of year. You could also do a smoked cheddar. You could do like a smoked mozzarella or provolone for like a stretchier, ooier, gooier. But these are what I'm feeling today. And then I've also got my pumpkin. I've got a cup of canned pumpkin here. Canned pumpkin, be careful, because it's right next to canned pumpkin pie filling, and you do not want that. Pumpkin pie filling has sugar, it's got spices, it's got all that stuff in it. This is just pure pumpkin, or to be honest, other squashes. So I'm gonna add that in. I've got some sauce that's already thickened right over here, looking absolutely beautiful. See that beautiful, thick, creamy sauce? Once that's simmered, that's what that's gonna look like. So I'm gonna go in with my pumpkin, and this makes a very thick sauce, which honestly, not the worst thing in the world. You're gonna thin it out with that pasta cooking liquid once those noodles are done. But this is gonna get that beautiful pumpkin flavor in, gives you a nice creamy note, and adds a little bit of nutrients, a little bit of vitamin C, always a good thing. Now, I'm gonna go in with my cheeses. I've got that cheddar and that smoked Gouda right on in. Just dump it on in. Honestly, I say 1.5 cups. This is more than that. That's okay. You measure cheese with your heart, in my personal opinion, so, do your thing. So I'm just gonna add that in, give it a little bit of a stir, and you just wanna heat that over medium, low heat until all that cheese melts and gets ooey and gooey. Now, I'm gonna season that with a bit more salt, little bit of pepper as well. And then does anyone know what, well, in my opinion, pumpkin's best friend is? It's nutmeg. I don't have any pockets today, so I was like, where do I put it? So I put it in my collar. So we're gonna go. If you don't want to do that, obviously just keep it in your pantry, but we're getting into nutmeg emergency time. Someone might bring out eggnog, and I'm like, what do? I gotta have nutmeg. So add a little bit of that right on in. Just give it a zest, That tells a little bit of lemoniness, a little bit of brightness. That's gonna come together. These noodles are cooking. When we come back, I'm gonna make a delicious crispy topping to go on top, so stick around. Now I'm gonna get to work on a crunchy topping, because anytime I have something that's like creamy, especially a pasta, I like a little bit of texture. Sometimes I'll eat a bite and I'll eat another bite, and I'm like, I want something new. And a crunch, that's what you want, in my personal opinion. Okay, so I've got a pan here over about medium heat. Now I've got 6 slices of pancetta here that I've diced up. You could also use a little bit of bacon. That would be perfect as well. But pancetta is really nice. It's not as smoky, so if you're looking for more smokiness, obviously go for that bacon. Now typically when I'm making pancetta, similar to how I make bacon, I usually start it in a cold pan. But today, we don't have time for that, so we're going in a hot pan. When I start it in a cold pan, that leads to more rendering of the fat, because essentially starting it in that cold pan allows that fat to kind of melt out of that pancetta before it crisps up. By putting it into a hot pan, still a little bit melts out, but it kind of crisps up before it comes out. So I'm not gonna end up with as much pancetta fat. Not the worst thing in the world, because we have butter for that. But if you did wanna just use pancetta fat, start it in a cold pan. Now I'm gonna cook that down just until it's a little bit crispy. It smells very good. I've got a pancetta facial going on right now. All right, now I'm gonna transfer these noodles on into that sauce. So I've got a fancy kitchen device that is known as a spider. It's not scary, even though it is getting close to Halloween. But it's basically just like a sieve, essentially. Anytime I'm making pasta and I wanna add some of that liquid into the sauce, I usually don't drain this. I usually just kind of scoop it over. Any water that comes along is gonna be totally fine, because pasta water is kind of a secret ingredient. What it likes to do is it almost both thins things down, but also thickens and emulsifies them up. Because there's starch in that water now, that's just gonna kind of bring everything together and make everything beautiful. So we're just gonna add that on in as that pancetta gets to browning. We're already getting there a little bit. All right. Now, since that is such a thick sauce, I am gonna add a spoonful of this cooking liquid. It's just gonna thin it out, because anytime you're doing a thicker kind of pasta, you want it to be thinner in the pan than you want it on the plate, because it tends to tighten up as it cools, because that's what starch does. So a few little ladles, good to go. Give that a stir, and that is gonna thicken up absolutely beautifully. Now again, if you wanted to, you could easily put this into the oven now, right in this pan. Pop a little bit of those crunchers on top, maybe a little bit of extra cheese, and you have got something totally delicious. But again, with that crisp on top. We've got this pancetta. It's browning down, looking beautiful. I'd cook it a little bit more now, but since I don't have a ton of that fat, I do need some because I'm gonna toast something. So I'm gonna add in a little bit of butter. It feels kind of weird adding like butter essentially to bacon, but don't worry, it works. So I'm going in with a tablespoon. You can do 2 tablespoons, whatever your heart's content. And I'm also gonna add in a little bit of sage, again, to mimic the flavors going on in that sauce. So I've got about a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of sliced sage. Add that in. Again, it's gonna fry in that butter and that pancetta fat. And honestly, I don't know what could be wrong with that, so it's a delight. Now, for those crunch, I'm going in with some panko. Now, panko is all crunch, not a lot of flavor. So by toasting it, you get a ton of flavor out of it. So I'm gonna add in about half a cup of that right on into the pan. Maybe a little bit more, because I love a crunch. And then for a little bit of heat, I love chili with my pumpkin. So just some chili flakes right on into the pan. If you don't like the spice, feel free to leave them out. Season that with some salt. Give that a stir, and then you just wanna toast that until that panko is nice and golden and that pancetta is nice and cooked through. Now, we're gonna go over here because through the magic of television, we already have some done. I'm very excited. These pumpkins here, you think they're just decoration, but no, they are adorable little mac and cheeses. Some of that amazing crunch all on top. Now, if you wanted to, you could easily do this crisp without that pancetta. Just use that beautiful butter, and it will taste totally delicious. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Okay, cool, mac and cheese forever, am I right? Let's give it a taste. We've got that pumpkin, we got the cheese, the sage, the nutmeg. That is so creamy, so crispy. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.